She moaned quietly as Lucky sucked. Okay,
I just said, okay, go ahead, go.
Okay,
Damn.
go.
3, 2, 1. It had been a wonderful evening. Henny hadn't expected this, but Lucky has always managed to surprise her girlfriend. The two went out for pizza. The surprise, pizza, but supposedly, what Lucky actually did was take Henny on the most romantic date she had had since, well, ever. Henny's mouth was hurting from all the smiling she had been doing. Now, it was late at night. Two had just entered the other's bedroom, and Henny opened the curtains to let the moonlight in. When she turned, her heart skipped a beat. Lucky was looking beautiful as always. She didn't wear makeup, her hair was loose for winter, and she wore simple shorts and a tank top. And his eyes couldn't help but glance at that bit of waist. Then, those legs.
Henny? Henny, what are you staring at?
Lucky asked, smiling.
You?
Henry replied lamely, yet it made Lucky smile.
I I got you something else today.
Lucky said slowly, twirling a lock of hair in her fingers and taking a step closer. Why was she smiling like that?
Oh, Lucky, you didn't have to.
I want it.
Lucky interrupted, closing the distance between the two and wrapping her arms around Henny's waist. Henny's face turned pure red as their lips connected into a gentle, loving kiss. In a few seconds, her eyes closed and she wrapped her arms around Lucky's neck.
You're mine, comrade.
Henny yelped as Lucky pushed her down to the bed, holding her down by the shoulders and straddling the waist with her legs. Before she could say anything, their lips connected again, this time in a more lustful and passionate kiss. A whine of pleasure could be heard from Henrietta.
Lucky, are you sure?
Henny whispered, looking away shyly.
We never did this.
She was interrupted by Lucky's lips pressing themselves against her neck, nibbling seductively and exciting her. She tried to grab Lucky's waist, but the communist hands grabbed Henny's and pinned them to the bed. Henny squirmed uselessly under her lover. The feeling of Lucky's gentle biting and sucking excited her so much.
There. Now, everyone know you're taken.
Lucky whispered as he finished marking Henrietta. Henny stayed quiet, racing, as Lucky held both her wrists under one and used the other to slowly slide under her shirt. Her cold fingers skid over Henny's gentle skin, so slowly and painfully.
Lucky, stop waiting.
I give the orders here, not to you.
Lucky cut in harshly. God, that was so hot, Henny thought. Lucky smiled at her lover's silence and finally slid her hand under the other, gently rubbing her breast. She watched as Henny's face turned red and her body began to move. She saw Henny bite her lips, trying hard not to make a sound, and massaged her chest fast. Lucky giggled as Henny gasped in either surprise or pleasure.
You're so cute.
Lucky whispered seductively, using her one hand to pull off that shirt and do the bra.
This is okay, right?
Henrietta kept her eyes on the wall, excited, yet so embarrassed. Lucky had surprisingly never seen this, yet she gave a small nod, letting Lucky know she was fine. The communist didn't waste a moment before leaning down and putting her lips against Henny's nip, sucking and nibbling gently. Henrietta, being the innocent child of God she was, had never done this before. She moaned quietly as Lucky sucked, trying to grab her lover, but unable to escape Lucky's hold.
Let me move.
Henny gasped, expecting Lucky to concede.
No.
Lucky replied, smirking and going on faster. Her eyes on Henny. The other had her eyes pressed shut, biting her lips, and she tried to not make any more embarrassing sounds.
If you ask nicely, I may do what you want.
Let me move, Lucky.
Henny said
Beg.
quietly.
Beg.
Lucky demanded, going back to Henny's titty. Henny couldn't help but feel aroused by Lucky's attitude. Even as she tried to break free, the communist held her down, or simply turned her on more. Another moan left her lips, as a small wave of pleasure washed her hair.
Fine.
Henny sputtered.
Let me go, please.
Lucky ignored her, squeezing her wrist and causing Henny to squirm.
Lucky, babe, please, let me go. I love you.
Henny said quietly, holding back another small moan as Lucky pleased her relentlessly.
That's much better.
Lucky purred, letting go of Henny's wrist and sitting up, whipping off her own shirt, revealing them titties. She leaned down, one hand cupping Henny's face, and began kissing the girl once more. Henny closed her eyes and wrapped her arms around Lucky's waist, kissing back shyly. She held back a gasp as Lucky's free hand slid under her pants and then her panties, rubbing her sensitive crotch ever so lightly. Henny held Lucky's tightly, with Lucky's keeping her hand locked in the kiss, and her back arched as the communist immediately began pumping one finger, then two, and she giggled as Henny gasped loudly as clutched. Lucky sighed harshly.
Lucky.
Henny moaned, her back arching as pleasure began to swim over.
Do you not like it?
Lucky asked coldly, smirking evilly.
I
Evilly.
could stop.
As he said this, the Asian began to slow down.
I don't think you want this.
No, please, Lucky, fuck. No, stop.
Henny said rather loudly.
Please, make me yours.
Lucky kissed her lustfully again, her fingers pumping even faster, and earning a loud moan from the younger girl.
Oh.
Her body bucked somewhat with Lucky's movement, and she cursed with each pump of the fingers.
Fuck.
Well, that's a perfect routine. Once again, a perfect routine.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys
we've been
really went
practicing
serious
this.
with that one, huh?
Yeah, we were practicing earlier. Really took this very seriously.
Here I am laughing my head off, and you guys are just like going all for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, why did I have to leave right when all that happened, huh? Oh my god, Tracer just blinked off the map to escape me and killed herself. Okay, I mean, you know what? No comment.
Wait a second.
Oh, Lucky left. Okay, guys, say goodbye to YouTube.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
YouTube.
Hope you enjoyed porn that I made of my friends. You know, I'm pretty sure it was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have
Awesome
anything you want to
juicy
say?
content.
Because honestly, I still have time. The match is still going on. Ow, that hurt.
Ever need a narrator? Call me.
Oh. Yeah, and if you call him, make sure it's just for narrating, because he's mine.
Oh.